But I believe a lot of people believe on the story and stay away from my business or plan to do shopping with me, might stop doing it. It's because we do millions of dollars every month, and it's very hard to predict and how it can be damaged my business.
Went on live TV, sat down next to his lawyer, stared straight into the camera, and claimed the whole situation wasn't real. Sounds bold, right? But here's the issue. No one brought up the employee at all. We're talking about a man who built a $20 million empire, selling diamond pieces to some of the biggest names in music. Travis Scott, Gucci Mane, 21 Savage, Beyonce. His work has shown up everywhere. His grills have appeared in more music videos than most artists have albums. And right now, the internet is going wild. His legal team is talking about possible legal action, while a former employee named Plug Geo had already shared details years before any of this started trending. That part alone raises eyebrows. You need to hear this, because what's happening with Johnny Dang isn't just about AI edits or misleading clips. It goes way deeper than that. There's another layer to this story that people are missing, and by the time you finish this, you'll see why Johnny Dang chose his words very carefully during that TV interview, and even more carefully avoided certain topics. Let's break it down. To really understand this situation, we've got to go back to the start, because you can't follow the controversy without knowing how the empire was built first.
Realize what people have been putting out on social media about you using AI, fake technology. To, what were your thoughts about that?
My first thought is, man, that's so fake, and it not really affect my business, because I see a couple of things like this been happening in the past.
Johnny Dang, born Giang Antoine in Vietnam in 1973, arrived in Houston in 1996 with nothing. No money, no English, no connections, no direction. It was just his father, who had moved there 9 years earlier, and a level of hustle most people can't even imagine. He started from the ground up, no shortcuts, no spotlight, just repairing jewelry with his brother at a flea market in Houston. Not some luxury boutique, not a flashy storefront on Rodeo Drive, a simple table in Sharpstown. But even back then, you could tell this man had skill, and more importantly, he had vision. By 1998, he leveled up and opened his first real shop, TV Jewelry, inside Sharpstown Mall, and that's when everything shifted. He found his lane creating custom diamond grills, and the timing couldn't have been better. Hip-hop was evolving, and jewelry wasn't just style anymore, it was a statement. It showed status, success, and told the world you made it out. And nobody tapped into that moment like Johnny Dang. Then came the turning point that changed everything. He made a grill for rapper Paul Wall.
Realize that this could be damaging to a businessman, so you have to go after them for their actions.
Yeah, there's causes of action available for things just like this. I mean, this is a defamation case. They're publishing things that aren't true, clearly lies, malicious intent to harm his business, and you can file a defamation action for something just like this.
Paul Wall wore it. People started noticing, the culture paid attention, and by 2002, they teamed up and went into business together. From that moment on, Johnny Dang wasn't just another jeweler, he became the jeweler, the one top artists called first, the one celebrities would fly out just to see. He turned a small flea market grind into a full-blown diamond empire that had everyone watching. Fast forward to today, and his name has been shouted out in tracks by Migos, Travis Scott, Gucci Mane, Lil Pump, 21 Savage, Chief Keef. His influence is everywhere, and his reputation speaks loud. He even showed up in Beyonce's No Angel video, and there's literally a song named after him by that Mexican OT, Paul Wall Andrade, in 2023. Then, in 2016, he leveled up again, moving out of Sharpstown Mall into his own standalone spot, and he even said it himself on live TV. This business pulls in millions every single month. This isn't some small operation. It's a full-on empire, a legacy, a name stamped into the culture. And that's exactly why when the internet started turning on him, it spread fast, like wildfire you couldn't ignore. Now here's where things really started heating up.
They think, oh, this is real. This is a chance to, so many commentators out there or haters, they keep repost or blast it out. So they go really viral this time.
So
but my family, when they saw it, they say, oh, that's another fake one, another one.
There you go. Unlike the recent one that's out there, you're not sentenced to 10 years anywhere. You're sitting right here on the fact. We want to thank you for joining us. Colby, thank you for joining us.
Over the past few weeks, social media got flooded, and not just with a couple random posts either. This looked organized. Waves of videos, clips, bold captions, all pushing the same claims about Johnny Dang. Post after post, share after share, the algorithm doing what it does best, pushing the most shocking, emotional content to as many people as possible as fast as possible. And here's the part that made it even intense. The way this content was put together didn't look sloppy at all. These weren't blurry screenshots or obvious fake headlines with messy wording. Some of these videos used AI-generated audio and visuals that looked and sounded just like him. His face, his voice, his tone, even his accent. It all felt real enough to fool anyone scrolling late at night, making it easy to believe without even questioning it. That's the new era of misinformation for real. It's not just rumors spreading in conversations anymore. It's crafted, it's calculated, it's built to look real, and it's aimed straight at people who trust what they see with their own eyes. Now think about what kind of pressure that does to a business built completely on trust and reputation.
Artists and athletes don't just choose any jeweler, they go to the jeweler. The one their circle trusts, the one with a proven track record, the one they've seen on Travis Scott's wrist or shining in a Gucci Mane video.
Do you think this is possibly competition out there, or do you think this is just your average run-of-the-mill hater?
I think it's a part of competition. I believe it's competition. But it doesn't, be honest, it doesn't hurt my business.
The second doubt gets introduced into that world, it's not just talk anymore. It starts affecting everything. The business, the brand, the relationships that took years to build. And the content didn't stop. It kept coming. Different accounts, different platforms, but all repeating the same claims again and again. It felt non-stop, like it was everywhere at once. And right in the middle of all that, the video took off and started gaining major attention. That's when Johnny Dang knew he had to respond quickly. But instead of posting online or dropping a quick clip, he took a different route. No Instagram statement, no TikTok caption, no live stream from the shop. He went straight to television. Isaiah Factor Uncensored, a real Houston platform with a real audience. And he didn't show up alone either. He had his attorney, Colby Holler, sitting right beside him on camera, making it clear this was serious. Let that sink in for a second. When a businessman steps onto television to address public controversy and brings his lawyer with him, that's not casual talk. That's planned, strategic, and carefully guided. Nothing about this was off the cuff. Every word was chosen for a reason. The host even set the tone perfectly, introducing Johnny as the man behind a diamond-stacked empire and framing the situation as AI-driven attacks from critics trying to bring down a self-made success story. Right from the start, Johnny came in with a clear approach. When he was asked about his first reaction to the viral clips, he said, and this is straight from the interview, "My first thought is, man, that's so fake, and it's not really affect my business because I see a couple of things like this been happening in the past." Read that again, slowly. His first move was to downplay it, saying it's not really affecting his business. But then, almost in the same breath, he shifts the message. Later in the interview, he admits, "I believe a lot of people believe on the story and stay away from my business, or plan to do something with me, might stop doing it." So now the question becomes obvious. What's really going on here? Is it not impacting the business at all? Or are people actually stepping back after seeing those clips? That contradiction right there is what's got people paying close attention. No exaggeration, that looked like someone trying to stay composed on camera while something deeper was clearly bothering them. And honestly, it makes sense. When you're running a business pulling in millions every month, even a small wave of doubt in the market can hit hard. We're talking real money, real connections, real opportunities that can quietly slip away without anyone saying a word. But here's where things take a turn. When the host asked if he thought this was just random online critics or actual competition, Johnny Dang didn't pause at all. He said, "I think it's part of competition. I believe it's competition." He said it twice. That didn't sound like a guess. That sounded like he was pointing at something specific. He made it clear he believes someone in the industry could be behind this, something coordinated but made to look like it just went viral on its own. Then his attorney, Coley Hollis, stepped in and started laying out the legal path forward, talking about requesting removals, corrections, and possibly taking legal action if the creators behind the content can be identified. The attorney made it clear they see this as a defamation situation, saying false claims are being spread with the intent to damage the business. And on the surface, if we're only focusing on the AI-generated clips, that argument holds weight. That's a real concern, and it's something a lot of people are starting to pay attention to. But here's the part that didn't get mentioned in that interview, not once. The piece that somehow stayed out of the entire conversation. What about Plug Geo? That's where things start to get even more interesting. Let me break this all the way down, because this is where the deeper story begins. Long before any AI content ever showed up, back in 2021, way before the AI wave, way before our video, before any of this started blowing up, a man named Plug Geo stepped forward and spoke on camera. No mask, no fake account, no hiding. He showed his face and stood on what he said, and it sent shockwaves through the jewelry scene. Plug Geo wasn't just some random critic leaving a bad review, and he wasn't a competitor trying to throw doubt around. This was someone who actually worked inside Johnny Dang and Company, an insider who handled pieces, saw the process up close, and understood exactly what was being sold and how it was being presented.
And what he claimed wasn't vague talk. It was detailed, technical, the kind of information that sounds like it's coming from someone who's been in the room. He said Johnny Dang was using CVD diamonds instead of natural diamonds, while still charging prices expected for natural stones. Now pause right there, because this part matters more than anything else in this whole situation. You need to understand exactly what that means. CVD stands for chemical vapor deposition. It's one of the most common methods used today to create lab-grown diamonds. Here's how it works. A tiny diamond seed gets placed inside a sealed chamber. Then a gas, usually methane, is pumped in. High heat, around 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, breaks that gas down into carbon atoms, and those atoms slowly build layer by layer onto the seed over time until a full diamond forms. A stone that is chemically, physically, and visually almost identical to a natural diamond. Same hardness, ranking a perfect 10 on the Mohs scale. Same crystal structure, same shine, same overall look. To the naked eye, you can't spot the difference. And even standard diamond testers most jewelers use won't catch it either. It takes specialized equipment like advanced spectrometers or UV analysis to clearly tell a CVD diamond apart from a natural one. Now here's where things really get serious, the financial side of it. By the start of 2025, lab-grown diamonds had dropped in price by around 74% compared to 2020. That's a massive shift. The technology has advanced so fast that what once took weeks can now be done much quicker, and the machines used to produce them are more accessible than ever. So when you look at market value, CVD diamonds are typically priced much lower than natural earth mine diamonds, and that's why this conversation gets so intense when you bring it into the world of high-end jewelry and hip-hop. Think about it like this. If an artist spends $300,000 on a diamond chain, money earned through tours, deals, and years of work, and believes they're buying natural diamonds, expectations are set at a certain level. The piece might still look flawless, shine bright in photos, and get major attention online. But when it comes time for resale, insurance valuation, or passing it down, the actual market value could be very different depending on the type of stones used. And that gap between expectation and reality, that's where people start asking serious questions. The FTC even addressed this issue back in 2018. They started focusing on jewelers who were selling lab-grown diamonds without clearly telling customers what they were buying. Because the risk to consumers isn't just a theory, it's something that's been documented and discussed across the industry. And that's the exact claim Plug Geo put his name on in 2021. And he didn't stop there. He also said he personally helped bring in over $9 million in revenue for Johnny Dang and Company. $9 million. And despite being part of that level of production, He claimed he didn't receive a raise that matched his contribution. He also spoke on the work environment, saying there were concerns about security, and that when he tried to bring these issues up internally, nothing really changed. So eventually, he decided to leave, and once he left, he started speaking publicly about his experience. Now think about this for a second, because this part matters. There's a major difference between random social media posts pushing a viral story and a former employee going on camera with detailed claims about how things were handled inside a business. One is content made to spread fast. The other is someone attaching their name and reputation to what they're saying. One is built for attention. The other carries a different kind of weight because of where it's coming from. And the timing here is important too. Plug Geo spoke out in April 2021. That's years before AI-generated videos became a major topic, and long before Johnny Dang started trending in connection with these kinds of claims. Now here's where everything starts to connect, and it's the part most people are overlooking. When Johnny Dang went on TV, the focus stayed locked on AI clips, online narratives, and outside noise. That was the frame of the whole conversation. But notice what never came up, not once: the earlier claims from a former employee who had already spoken publicly years before. That gap stands out, because if the current situation is being explained as misleading content and digital manipulation, then why not address the earlier statements directly and clear everything at once? That's the question people keep asking.
Instead, the response stayed centered on recent events, AI, viral clips, and outside criticism, while older claims remained untouched. And for viewers paying close attention, that creates a split in the story. On one side, you have a narrative about online misinformation spreading fast. On the other, you have past statements from someone who said they saw things from the inside. And when those two sides don't meet, it naturally raises more curiosity. People start connecting timelines, comparing details, and looking for consistency across everything that's been said publicly. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one interview or one viral moment. It's about how every piece of the story lines up. And when certain parts are highlighted while others stay in the background, that's when the conversation really starts to grow and people begin paying even closer attention. There was no wave to jump on back in 2021, no viral spotlight, no trending moment to benefit from. Plug Geo spoke out in a completely different media climate, which means his claims can't just be grouped into the same narrative as today's AI-driven content. These are two separate situations, and that distinction matters more than people realize. And here's another key detail. Johnny Dang's team has never directly addressed the CVD diamond claims in a clear, on-record way. He's spoken about online sellers taking money without delivering products, and he's pointed towards scammers operating on the internet. He's also talked broadly about protecting his name and reputation. But when it comes to the specific claim about lab-grown diamonds being presented as natural ones, there hasn't been a direct, detailed response that fully clears that up in public. And people who follow this closely have definitely picked up on that. Now let's keep this balanced, because this isn't about pushing one side. The AI-generated content targeting Johnny Dang is real. That technology exists, and it's being used more and more against public figures. The scale of it is growing fast, and is catching a lot of people off guard. The numbers alone are wild. AI-generated videos online reportedly jumped from around 500,000 in 2023 to nearly 8 million by 2025. That's massive growth in a short time. And even local news like Fox 26 Houston covered this situation, showing examples of clips with altered visuals and audio designed to look convincing. So now you've got two things happening at once: rapidly spreading AI content on one side and older claims that still haven't been fully addressed on the other. And that combination is exactly why this story keeps getting bigger. That part is documented, that part is real, and it's a serious situation. When his attorney talks about defamation, that clearly applies to the AI-generated content. If someone is creating videos of Johnny Dang saying things he never said or appearing in situations that never happened with the goal of harming his business, that falls directly into a legal issue. So yes, when it comes to that specific problem, the legal path is straightforward. But here's the part that can't be ignored. Addressing the AI content doesn't automatically resolve the separate concerns raised by a former employee. These are two completely different issues happening at the same time. And the way that TV interview played out had an interesting effect. Whether intentional or not, it blended both topics into one big narrative. Suddenly, everything gets labeled the same: misinformation, outside criticism, AI-generated content, all grouped together. And that kind of framing can be risky, because when everything starts to look questionable, even real information can get brushed off without a second look. There's actually a term for this. Experts call it the liar's dividend. The more AI content spreads, the easier it becomes for people to dismiss real claims as if they're fake too. Now think about how that plays out publicly. If the main story people hear is about a successful business facing AI-driven attacks and outside criticism, then anyone bringing up older concerns might quickly get categorized the same way without their points even being fully considered. Once everything gets grouped under competition or coordinated push, the Plug Geo situation starts to fade into the background. It gets covered up by a more sympathetic storyline, one that may be true in parts, but doesn't tell the whole picture.
Now let's focus on what Johnny Dang actually said about the people affecting his business, because this part really stands out. During that TV interview, he pointed directly at what he called street jewelers, people creating pages on Instagram and TikTok, acting like legitimate jewelers, collecting money and not delivering products. He explained it clearly, saying they use the internet to take money from customers and never send anything back, and by the time those customers come to him, it's already too late. And to be fair, that is a real issue in the jewelry space. Fake accounts and unreliable sellers are everywhere, no question about it. But look at how that framing works. It places Johnny Dang as the trusted figure, the real deal, the one others are trying to imitate. It builds a picture where he's the standard of authenticity and others are just trying to copy or take advantage of his name. And that becomes a powerful narrative, especially if there are other conversations that aren't being addressed at the same time. Because while attention is focused on outside bad actors, it naturally shifts focus away from questions people might have about what's happening internally. Even his family's reaction during the interview adds another layer. When asked how his wife and kids responded to the viral content, he said they saw it and immediately brushed it off, saying it was just more fake news. He even mentioned, "This is not the first time. It's not the first time they do the fake news about me." And look, if misleading content about you has happened so many times that your family already has a default reaction to it, that says a lot about the space you're operating in. When you reach that level of fame, attention comes from every direction, and not all of it is positive. That part is real. But here's what this whole situation really shows, and this is the part you need to really think about. Johnny Dang's origin story is real and is powerful. Coming to America with nothing, working out of a flea market, and building a multi-million-dollar empire through skill, relationships, and non-stop hustle. Becoming one of the most recognized jewelers in hip-hop, that's not made up, that's earned. But here's where the conversation shifts. There's been an ongoing transparency issue in the jewelry world for a long time, and it doesn't get talked about openly. Artists like Lil Durk have spoken publicly about rappers buying jewelry that didn't match expectations, and others have shared moments where they had pieces tested independently and were surprised by the results. The conversation around lab-grown versus natural diamonds isn't some random theory, it's a real topic being discussed within the industry. And in the hip-hop space, it's often handled carefully because the relationships are strong and the names involved carry serious weight. What Plug Geo did back in 2021 was different. He didn't speak in general terms. He pointed to a specific situation and described a specific practice based on his own experience. He didn't just say, "Jewelers out here doing bad business." He pointed to a specific operation and described a specific practice. And instead of that moment opening up a real conversation about transparency and accountability in the industry, it got overshadowed, buried under reputation, celebrity ties, and a powerful success story that people already believed in. Now, fast forward to 2026, where AI-generated content is adding even more confusion, and a polished TV appearance is reinforcing a certain narrative.
That earlier moment with Plug Geo is getting pushed even further into the background, this time with more noise, more distraction, and higher production around it. And that's exactly why this video matters. Not to tear Johnny Dang down, and not to blindly support every viral post online, but to keep the full conversation in view. Because in the middle of all this attention, the one person who came forward with detailed claims, used his real name, and spoke from inside experience shouldn't just disappear from the discussion. If those CVD-related claims aren't accurate, then the clearest way to settle it isn't through interviews or legal talk. It's through transparency, documentation, certification, independent verification, and a direct, on-record response to the exact points that were raised. Because strong businesses don't collapse from being questioned. They run into problems when important questions go unanswered. And if any part of those claims holds weight, then every artist who invested serious money, every athlete, and even everyday customers who saved up for something special deserve clarity about what they received.
And this is where everything reaches a turning point. Because once questions like this enter the public space, they don't just disappear. They grow, they spread, and more people start paying attention. Now the spotlight isn't just on viral clips or online narratives anymore. It's on clarity. People want straight answers, not carefully worded responses or partial explanations, especially in an industry where trust is everything and reputation is the foundation of every deal. Think about it. When someone walks into a jewelry store and spends serious money, they're not just buying a piece, they're buying confidence in what they're being told. They're trusting the materials, the value, and the name behind it. And once that trust gets questioned, even slightly, it changes how people move. At the same time, the rise of AI content has made everything more complicated. Now, real situations and altered content are existing side by side. And for the average person scrolling online, it's getting harder to tell what's what. That confusion creates space for doubt to grow even faster. So now you've got two forces colliding: technology blurring reality on one side and unanswered questions sitting on the other. And when those two things meet, it creates a situation where people start digging deeper, asking more, and refusing to just accept surface-level explanations. People deserve clear information about what they're wearing around their neck. That's not negativity, that's accountability. And accountability doesn't change based on someone's background, their celebrity connections, or how many music videos they've been part of. Right now, the biggest question isn't about whether AI-generated content has been circulating. That part has already been addressed. The real question, the one that's been sitting there since 2021, is simple. What exactly are customers getting when they spend their money at Johnny Dang & Company? Until there's a clear and direct answer to that, the conversation isn't going anywhere. People are going to keep asking, keep looking, and keep comparing everything that's been said over time. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you see Johnny Dang as someone mainly dealing with outside pressure from AI content and competition? Or do you think the claims brought up back in 2021 still need a clear response today? Because one thing is certain, once something like this enters the public conversation, it sticks, and people keep paying attention.